Welcome to Politics Done Right. I am your host, Egberto Willies. This is a progressive program that will take the mystery out of politics. This is the program that will encourage you to make sure government becomes we the people. Whether you are liberal, progressive, conservative, or otherwise, you get to air your point of view. We are an independent media outlet that, unlike mainstream media beholden to corporations, we only owe allegiance to you. Remember, you can also send me a tweet at EGBERTOWILLIES. That is at Egberto Willies. Let us engage. It is Politics Done Right. Well, folks, welcome to one more edition of Politics Done Right. I'm Egberto Willies, your host. Thank you so kindly for being a part of the show. We are going to have a great show for you today. But before I get started, I just want to talk a little bit about a good friend of mine. And first of all, welcome everybody to the house. I mean, to the chat and everywhere else. I'm a bit shook up because I just learned today that a very good friend and activist that participated in Occupy Kingwood with me, Dr. Tice, and many others, passed away. This was a young guy, very young guy, a little bit older than my daughter. And it just hurts, and I don't know what happened yet. I haven't been able to reach his wife or anything. I just saw the GoFundMe today on the screen, etc. And it came to me, and I'm kind of shook up because this guy had his life ahead of him. He became a teacher. He was always a positive for society. Um, it is just, man, it is just kind of difficult to believe that he's no longer here. Let's go ahead and get the program started, and then I'm going to go on to play a video. Then I'm going to go look up for one of the videos I did with him at Occupy Kingwood, and then we'll go through that. But anyhow, let's get busy. Welcome aboard, Eric Hayes. Welcome aboard from Akatascocita Kingwood. Welcome aboard, Yvette Avery Herod from Atlanta, Georgia. Welcome aboard, Bridge MCP from Binghamton, New York. Welcome aboard, E2247. Welcome aboard, El Senor Michael Rudnin, and anybody that I miss, forgive me that I miss you. Lee Grant. Lee Grant is here from Montgomery County. Welcome aboard, welcome aboard, welcome aboard, welcome aboard. I need to get a few more things set up that like I said, I'm sort of perturbed and it kind of messed with the flow of me getting the program together today. So let me, and again, and the worst part about it is I don't even know how he died. I don't even know if he was sick. I mean, it had to be a short time because 3 days ago he was posting about his mother. So, I mean, I don't know. But here's the thing, folks. Let me play this video that we did this morning at KPFT that's important about healthcare. Let me get a few things done while the video is playing, and we'll keep on with the program. We have important work to do. We have a lot of important work to do. Here we go, and then we'll take it on the other side. Pastor Carl Ruby in Springfield, Illinois, he has a message that evangelicals should listen to. Because I tell you what Donald Trump and JD Vance did to the Springfield, Ohio community, create a lot of dissension, create a lot of friction, create a lot of hate, force the city to spend money that it didn't have, where it's already trying to cope with expenses of having a whole lot of issues with immigrants and otherwise. What Donald Trump and them did, it was horrendous, and this pastor gave it another dimension. I want you to listen to Reverend Carl Ruby, and then we'll take it on the other side.
One thing I want to say, I've had a lot of media coverage this week, and I've gotten tons of emails from people I don't know from all over the world, and almost every single one has been positive. And here in the committee of Springfield, there are pastors who've never worked together before, who are arm in arm, saying together, God loves immigrants, and he commands that we do. I mean, immigrants are so important. They made the 10 Commandments. Moses talked about our need to welcome immigrants. King David talked about it. Most of the prophets talked about it. But most of all, Jesus talked about it. And in the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus said, if you're truly a righteous person, you will greet strangers. And the word for strangers is the word for immigrant or foreigner. And then he went on to say, he said, if you only greet people who are just like you, what good is that? Even pagan people do that. So to me, you can't claim to be loyal to Jesus if you're not willing to show love to immigrants. That's so central to the Christian message. And I think this is a time for the whole church really to get back to what it means to be a true Christian. And that is a person who loves their neighbors, we love ourselves, and treats others as we would like to be treated.
Reverend Ruby nails it. All of these people, including the evangelicals that are now beholden to Trump, they have allowed Trump, these pastors that should be taking care of their flock, they have allowed Trump to so distort their morality that they have forgotten the good book that they follow, as the pastor indicated, to do all that is wrong. If that isn't evil, please tell me what is. If that isn't evil, please tell me what that is. Of course, I put the wrong video on, but that's an important video that I wanted to show as well. Because the evil that goes within Donald Trump, JD Vance, they all, and Ramaswamy, all of them know that they created a humongous lie. And they're still, welcome aboard, Steigenberger Creek, welcome aboard. They know that they are lying, but still, they put the story out there with the expectation that they will bring out the carnality of those who believe. They will not replace us. They will not replace us. For that false belief that immigrants are coming here to do some sort of a great replacement. The things that the evil people do, the things that they do. And this good pastor, I love to see this sort of thing happen. But anyhow, let me tell you a little bit about my buddy. Back in 20 was it 2012? I believe it would have been 2012. We did. Remember the Occupy movement? It started, I believe, in 2011, and it was going real strong. And you know, it was in New York and everywhere. I went to several of the Occupy encampments, and we met people all over the country, good activists, and we really thought we had Wall Street by the pelotas, and we did. The problem is, we lost it because, well, there's a whole book that was written about that, and in fact, there are several quotes that I did in that book about the 10-year anniversary of Occupy. And the guy who wrote the book, he quoted me several times in the book. But there were a lot of reasons why Occupy didn't actually bring down Wall Street like it should, didn't bring down unfettered capitalism as it should. And that was because we had a lot of infiltrators, we had a whole lot of people creating dissension, because we had reached the point after the 2008 collapse that America was able to see the what this economic system does to real people. And it was about to make that turn. I mean, in as the income inequality and wealth disparity today is much worse than it was in 2010, 2008. It just keeps on in one direction by design. We had it. And what we did here in Kingwood, our very red conservative town, is we didn't occupy the place permanently. We said we were going to show a steady thing. It was put together by Dr. Thais, Swaringim, my buddy here, myself, and others, students from the college, and we occupied that corner of Houston. And guys, bear with me. I know we have some other things to talk about, but we occupied that corner in Kingwood 52 consecutive weeks. Rain or storm, lightning or not. I remember one morning, it's storming, it's raining. And I asked my wife to take me to this corner because I knew people were going to show up anyway. And I needed somebody to, since I didn't know if I would have been the only one in the beginning there, I needed we have a video of every 52 weeks. And I wanted a video showing that that place was occupied for 52 consecutive weeks. So I had her tape me uh, with the rain coming, etc. And then told her, okay, go ahead. I'm staying here. I will, I'll come home. We came in two cars, actually. And I stayed there, and I just stayed there with the umbrella by myself and the signs. And later on that morning, about half hour later, the Occupy folks kept on coming, including Brandon Swearingen and all the rest. Rain, nothing stopped us. During the winter, the heat of the summer, we were there for the entire 52 weeks. And at the end, what happened is we closed her out. It was time. We said we were going to do it for 52 consecutive weeks. We did it. And I think I can play this guy now that you can hear it. I think I had got that fixed. Let me get it to the right size first. And this is my brother with me. I interviewed everybody every 52 weeks of this thing. Let's see if it plays. And then this is our last Occupy 52 consecutive weeks.
That's it.
Now tell me, what are we doing going forward?
Well, it's time to switch our strategy. I think get a little more hands-on and get involved with the Move to Amend movement, and that's all about essentially getting money out of politics and declaring that corporations are not people.
Now, are you going to be an integral part of that movement going forward?
Definitely. I'm hoping we can pressure lawmakers, maybe even do some door-to-door stuff. I don't know. I mean, it's going to be a learning experience.
Now, let me tell you, Brandon, from someone who served the country, there is no better person to move that message forward. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks.
That is Brandon Swearingen, and I don't know if his wife would be watching right now, but I just want her to know that we were so proud of the young man. And again, he was young. Like I said, he's just a little bit older than my daughter. I don't know, probably 5, 10 years older than my daughter. But he was there every week, and he would bring his wife, his very young wife, and they had just had a kid, and he would bring them sometimes as we were at that corner every 52 consecutive Saturdays. It's just hard to believe that life is precious. One of the reasons we got to keep doing what we're doing, people, my brothers and my sisters, one of the reasons we have to keep doing this, there are a lot of folks out there that put out a whole lot to make sure that we have a democracy, to make sure that we have a society that supports everybody. And my brother Brandon Sweringim there, he was an integral part. He was an integral part of making us a better country, both in Occupy Kingwood and in Occupy Houston, as we were trying like hell to pull from the reins of those evil capitalists in the boardrooms that have screwed most Americans who are yet to realize who their enemies really are. The right wingers in this place aren't my enemies. Not at all. It's a system that have corrupted us all. Anyway, folks, and like I said, I haven't been able to reach his wife or anything, but there is a GoFundMe for his burial. After he left the system, he had become a teacher, and in the humble ISD, and you guys know what I think about teachers. I think teachers are it's the most important profession on the planet, bar none, because they move our knowledge forward. And a lot of us in that Occupy movement, Dr. Tice, Dr. Stevens, myself, all the others, all of us. Thank you for putting that link out there for me, Bridge MCP. All of those participants in that system in that we did there, all of them, all of us, all these folks went to become teachers and otherwise. So yeah. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, folks, let's go ahead. So I have that on the screen. Breach has a link in there. If anybody wants to pass it to anybody, wants to pass it to anybody, wants to pass it to anybody, support a family of a great progressive leader who did his part in activism to make this a better country. Love the dude. All right, folks, let's get busy. Let me go ahead and start reading some of your things right now. Let's see. Let's scroll down. Let's go. Eric Hayes says common theme. Well, let's see. I tell you what, folks. Let me play the video on. I got to take an important call. I'll be right. Pastor Carl Ruby in Springfield, Illinois. He has a message that evangelicals should listen to. Because I tell you what Donald Trump and J.D. Vance did to the Springfield, Ohio community, create a lot of dissension, create a lot of friction, create a lot of hate, force the city to spend money that it didn't have, where it's already trying to cope with expenses of having a whole lot of issues with immigrants and otherwise. What Donald Trump and them did, it was horrendous, and this pastor gave it another dimension. I want you to listen to Reverend Carl Ruby, and then we'll take it on the other side.
One thing I want to say, I've had a lot of media coverage this week, and I've gotten tons of emails from people I don't know from all over the world, and almost every single one has been positive. And here in the committee of Springfield, there are pastors who've never worked together before, who are arm in arm, saying together, God loves immigrants and he commands that we do. I mean, immigrants are so important. They made the 10 Commandments. Moses talked about our need to welcome immigrants. King David talked about it. Most of the prophets talked about it. But most of all, Jesus talked about it. And in the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus said, if you're truly a righteous person, you will greet strangers. And the word for strangers is the word for immigrant or foreigner. And then he went on to say, he said, if you only greet people who are just like you, what good is that? Even pagan people do that. So to me, you can't claim to be loyal to Jesus if you're not willing to show love to immigrants. That's so central to the Christian message. And I think this is a time for the whole church really to get back to what it means to be a true Christian. And that is a person who loves their neighbors, we love ourselves, and treats others as we would like to be treated.
Reverend Ruby nails it. All of these people. Sorry about that, guy. That was one of the people calling with regards to what we're talking about with Brandon. So sorry about that, but I had to take that call. Anyway, let's continue here. We have Michael says it is interesting that when a pastor talks about welcoming immigrants, Eric does straight to the left hates Trump as if that whataboutism changes the message in any way. Sure, I'll play along. Hey, Eric, do you think Trump is blameless for his disfavor? Trump has lied tens of thousands of times, stirred up division, pushed the Republican Party into fascism, and acted as lawlessly as he wanted, leading to trials and convictions. Yep. And again, and he's directly responsible for the angst that's going on in Springfield, Ohio right now. And you know what? He's starting to pay for it. Everybody, let me tell you, uh, this election cycle is going to prove the morality of America, okay, and it's going to prove what I've said. I still have faith in our country because the break is starting to occur. The dam is starting. The cracks are there. If you take a look at the internals of the polls, the cracks are there. He is going down bigly, and you are going to see some states fall that you're not going to believe are going to fall. I'm telling you, the morality of America is going to come. The morality of America is going to bloom from getting over that system about following a guy as evil as this. The scourge of the scourge of our times. It is changing, folks. No despair. It is changing. It is changing. Okay, so that's my word in reply to you, Michael Rudnin. Bridge MCP says the prosecutor in Florida. I posted that a few days ago. Word he is Haitian. Yep, it's funny that the guy who is prosecuting that's gonna prosecute the guy who attempted to kill Donald Trump is in fact a Haitian guy. Wow, poetic justice, isn't it? Strigan Bergen Greek says, I have never understood why we can't busy our loved ones in our bury our loved one in our own backyards. Why do we need to collect them all in cemeteries? There are some issues there, right? First of all, let me just say something. My wife has some, I guess she has some land in Louisiana, old land and so forth. And of course, the land that this home is on, I think at least we own the topsoil. And no underneath it, we probably don't own. Meaning, if they found diamonds or oil or whatever underneath here, it wouldn't be ours. But um, I think eventually we're going to leave that stuff about land ownership. I mean, think about it. If one can really own land, doesn't that say that some people eventually will never be able to have land? Think about it. Tell me what you think about that. All right, let's see what else we got here. Let's see. Hear my prayer, Lord. Listen to my cry for help. Do not be deaf to my weeping. I dwell with you as a foreigner, a stranger, as my ancestors were. Psalm 39:12. Thank you, E2247, for that one. The land must not be sold permanent. Oh, look at this. I just said something similar. The land must not be sold permanently because the land is mine and you reside in my land as foreigners and strangers. Leviticus 25:23. Thank you for that, E2247. It's funny that the Bible says something that the native people believe in pretty much, right? The native people believe that they are just stewards of the land. We are foreigners and strange in your sight, as were all our ancestors. Chronicles 20, well, First Chronicles 29:15. Oh man, I'm getting a lesson in the Bible, in the Old Testament, that is. Breach MCP says Bergenstein lost, but Trump buried his wife on his golf course to get it declared a cemetery for tax purposes. When you talk about that sort of a that sort of a evil from a guy like Donald Trump. And if how folks, if anybody has anything to say, give me a call if you would like to say something. Give me a call at 713. Oh, no, it's not 713. Where's the telephone number? It disappeared. The telephone number disappeared from the screen. If I could only find that telephone number. 281 823-7747. Before we go to the last video, anybody has anything to say? 281-823-7747. I am sorry for a little bit of a disjoint today, but again, I just got that message today about my friend, and it's still weighing on me. But give us a call if you'd like to. 281-823-7747. I'm going to wait 2 minutes before I jump and do the what am I going to jump and do before I jump and do the last video. Let's see. E2247 said Old Testament. Old. Any questions? Old Testament. I hear you, brother. I hear you. All right, let's go ahead. Okay, let's go ahead and play the last video, and then we'll go from there. Why is it that we don't give pay the family doctor more than the specialist, right? And it's a typical inverted pyramid in even the way we pay folks. I talk about the disease in our economic system being a fraud, and even in the healthcare industry, it works out that way. Let me show you this. A kidney specialist makes a lot more money than the family practitioner. I want you to think about this well. A kidney specialist makes a lot more than the family practitioner. But who actually does the most work? Who actually is more beneficial to society at large? Yes, we like specialists, somebody who can sit and spend all of their times studying all the ins and outs of a kidney, but it's one thing, right? But you have the family doctor that when that patient comes in, he has to look at the patient in the aggregate in a holistic manner. He has to figure, does this need to be sent to the person who knows the kidney, or does this need to be sent to the person who knows the heart, or does this need to be sent to the person who knows the intestine? He has to be not only a traffic cop, but he has to have great deductive skills, etc. And as he or she participates in the medical field more and more years, he gains the experience. She gains the experience of knowing where or what ails the body, before they have to go ahead and send to a specialist whose concentration is going to be that one organ, that one disease, that one thing. But in our inverted way of thinking, they say, well, the specialist had to go and get some more training for that one thing. But you know what? The family practitioner, that doctor that sees everybody, is in practice to understand everything continuously. But again, in our thinking process, we somehow value that person that only has to worry about that one organ as opposed to that person that has to be holistic. The same thing we have in industry, right? The person who moves the capital, the dollars, make all the money in our society. But then that person who does the work is subservient to the person who has the capital. And then we say the person with the capital, they risk their capital without taking into account that the person that goes into work every day risk themselves during transporting themselves to work, risk themselves for the environment, in the work, both psychological and physical. I mean, we are a society that has been taught. We have been taught to minimize those who work the most and maximize those who work the least. You doubt it? When somebody says, I am smart because I make my money work for me. Well, guess what, people? Money works for no one. We simply have a society where those who have money, we can sit it down and have others do the work. There's a time we used to call that slavery, right? So, I mean, we have a mode, we have been taught a certain modal, a certain way of thinking where we minimize those who are worth the most and maximize those who perform the least. And it's the same in our healthcare system. We spend the most in the healthcare system in America, the most, more than anyone else. Yet our outcomes are terrible compared to the rest of the world, who actually see the humanity in having universal health care. And unfortunately, the cancer, the disease that we have in the for-profit system is starting to infiltrate even some of these systems, degrading them. The national healthcare system from England, from the United Kingdom, one of the best in the world. As soon as it started to offshoot some of its services to the private sector, it has started some degradation because, again, what it has done, what certain parts of the NHS is doing, and I've covered that before on other shows, is to move it to the private sector where profit is the motive. Look, I have nothing against profit at all. I've had 7, 8 businesses before, but the one thing we have to acknowledge that there are certain things that don't belong in the profit domain. There are certain areas where profit is a hindrance. Profit is an expense. Profit has us making the wrong decisions. If we use profit in the healthcare domain, we cannot believe that that any entity is going to put that person's well-being, that person's health, that maybe that person needs a heart transplant, but we can't do it because it'll hit the bottom line, but we can prop them up with some sort of medicine to keep the cost low. I mean, we have to start thinking humanely. We have to start thinking of our well-being. We have to start thinking about people first. Business is there to make people first. Business should be there to support us and not the other way around. I've spoken many a times being on panels where we'll have a conservative, a moderate, a left winger like myself on the panel, and we start talking about economic policies. And somebody would throw out a policy there, and the person on the conservative side, on the business side, would say, but how would that affect business? The wrong question. The question should always be, how does that affect our life? How does that affect humanity? How does that affect the way we live? And we build businesses around what makes life better for us all. We have to start putting people first, humanity first, and not business first. When we put business first, we kill the environment. Because you know what? That's another problem. When we put business first, we lose our forests. When we put business first, all these things that makes us sustainable, all these things that make us, the word happy, we put last. It is time for us to really start believing in ourselves. It is time for us to start thinking. When that business person comes out and tells you, those are damn socialists trying to do X, Y, and Z. Remind them that what socialists are doing right now are propping up business. They've socialized business. Ask yourself why a student, a person who got a student loan and they're in dire straits with bills, they cannot get a bankruptcy, but a company who you can use bankruptcy to get away from their bills. Companies have used bankruptcies to stiff myself out of monies they've owed me. bankruptcy have had me have to pay back a company who paid me because they got bankrupted within a 3-month window. Business first. Let's start thinking people first, from healthcare right back. Let's start thinking business first. Let's start thinking business first. I think Bridge MCP wants to make a correction that's very important. So, Bridge, when you get a chance, call into the program so that I can get you to tell us what you need to tell us, because I think narrative, as you know, I believe we have to get the narrative straight. I believe too many times what happens is because we get the narrative wrong. That's what happens. The number is 281-823-7747. Okay. Well, welcome to Politics Done Right. Bridge MCP, how are you doing this afternoon, my friend?
I'm good. AC blaring. It's getting so hot here, it's ridiculous. But anyway, I'm not
Well,
Texas, that's for sure.
that's not Texas,
And
but
I
Bridge,
wanted to,
one of the things you wanted to call us about is you wanted to make sure that as we speak about these issues, we get the narrative correct. So you wanted to make it clear that when it comes to the supposed attempted assassination of Donald Trump, we prepare the right narrative. So why don't you tell us or tell our audience what you told me?
I said, and I posted it, I said that we should stop calling it an assassination attempt. It's an assassination plot. He never fired a gun. He never did any of those things. Maybe he would have. I don't know. He was a Trump supporter, then switched to Nikki Haley. He did write a book saying that Iran should assassinate Trump. So he's got all the markings of something. He's a big Ukraine activist, stayed there for months trying to recruit Americans to go there. So God knows why he did what he did, or was going to try to do what he did. So we should stop calling it an assassination attempt. He just camped out. He did nothing. He put his gun through the bushes. The SS saw it and fired back. And there's only one thing about that gets me, and it's weird. I don't listen to all the conspiracy crap and all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. I just think it's very weird. I'm not saying that he did it for publicity like he did the last. I don't know about that. But what I did think was, there's just one thing that gets me. And the SS said it, not me, the Secret Service. They said everything's on a schedule with him. Everything he does is on a schedule. And he last minute changed his mind to go golfing. Last minute. And on a Sunday afternoon in Florida, which people are like, who goes golfing at 1 o'clock in Florida? But whatever, skip that. He changed his mind that morning, or that afternoon, whatever, at the last minute. The SS had no clue he was doing it, because they have to go and scope out the area. Mm-hmm. And they didn't know. So they scrambled men out there to do that. And he went there. Now, there's stupid memes posting him in a suit, and that's all crap. But I'd like to know how that guy knew. How did he know 12 hours before to camp out there when the SS didn't even know? That's the only thing about that whole scenario that is weird with me. And again, I'm taking away all the conspiracy crap, and it's a second one, and he gets attention. Now he gets to sell a piece of his suit or some stupid crap. But how did he know? The SS didn't know. So to me, it's not an assassination attempt. It was a plot. Different.
I don't buy the conspiracy theorists either, but I think the fact that the Secret Service did make that stated that specifically, that well, this sort of happened automatically. We also had things like the GoPro there to tape it, and it looks like it was something to be orchestrated with the GoPro and everything else there. One has to really wonder what we're talking about. And now you're telling me he's also selling pieces of the the clothing that occurred during
well,
the time.
He's not. He's selling something. I forget what it is. He's selling something, cards. I don't know what the hell. He's always selling something. But
right.
So I don't know which one it was. It's so many. But I just think it's It's just weird, and I don't like using the assassination attempt. I just don't
Well,
like using that word. I like plot.
yeah,
I
and I
just
think
wanted to
I
say
think that
that.
is wise because there's a lot of, I mean, these guys show that they have no scruples. The fact that they would take a story in Springfield, Ohio, and even with all the leaders telling them it didn't occur, with all with the lady recanting that it was just a meme she put up there after losing her cat and then having found
Right?
her cat, and they continue to keep it. It just shows you their intrinsic evil. So I mean, it is interesting that again, we have to take that seriously. Yvette Avery Herod said he's selling trading cards of him and pieces
Yeah.
of the suit can be part of the package. Amazing. Thank you for that
Yes.
information, Yvette Avery Herod.
No problem.
Anything else you
Yeah,
want
I
to
saw it. I'm
add to
watching
that?
it. No, I just want. Well, first of all, sorry for your friend. I'm very sorry about that. He looked like a young, active guy, and those are people we need in this world. So it's
Yes.
terrible that he has a wife and child at home. God bless him and his family.
Yeah.
But no,
Well,
there was
look,
nothing else. I just think that we should, and let's continue now. What have we got? 40-something days left. Let's start
yeah.
getting on this bandwagon and start
Well,
showing what's going on with Georgia and the electors, and they just passed that
yes.
law now that they want to do a paper count.
In
You know how
Georgia,
long that would
yes.
take?
Yeah. In
Right,
Georgia,
and they're
they're
going to
trying to do
sue,
it.
but this is all going to take time.
Yeah. Yeah. But again,
You know,
the thing
Jake,
about it
what is
is,
that guy name?
which one?
Greg Palast, is that his name?
Oh,
Palast? You
Greg
had him on a couple of
Palace,
times,
Palace.
Greg.
Yeah, that's a friend of mine. I tell you
Palace,
what,
yeah.
I am
Yeah.
glad you said. Let me interview him this weekend so I can bring that to you guys on
Yeah,
Monday. Let's see if I can
he's got
find.
a movie out now, and he's got a movie out
Yeah,
now called Vigilante or something, but he's all over the Georgia thing, so he may be someone to talk to.
I
That'll be
am
interesting.
glad you brought that up. I'll go ahead and I'll first watch. How long is the movie? He sent it to me in a tweet, but I
I
never
don't
got around
know.
to watch it. Yeah.
I didn't get around to it. He keeps promoting it, but because I follow him, but I never got around. But I know he's got it in Hollywood, so I don't know, when it's going to come out. If it's out, I don't know.
Oh no, it is out. It is out and for everybody to see for free.
Oh, is it?
So what I'm going to yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and contact Greg and I'll get an interview with him and I'll bring it to us sometime next week. I'll see if I can do it this weekend.
That'll be great.
I don't know if he's in California or Georgia right now. He kind of jumps around. He's a really good investigative reporter. So I'll go ahead and contact him and bring you guys the video over here
That'll be
before
great.
in the
You know what's
in the
really
next few
fun?
days.
What's really funny about him that I love is that he dresses like a 1940s detective with that hat. He cracks me up.
Oh yeah, and but Greg is a great guy. But we'll talk, Breach. Let me go ahead and
All
I'm going
righty,
to
go
kind of
ahead.
wrap up a bit early
Sorry to
today
bother.
because no, never a bother. Thank you very much for calling, Breach. Have a
Okay.
great one. Bye bye. Anyway, folks, that was Bridge MCP, another one of our PDR Posse members. I want to give a big shout out to our brother Michael Rudnin for supporting my friend on in the in for his burial. So thank you so kindly for that support as well, El Señor Michael Rudnin. I mean, in these times, we all have to work on supporting each other in what we're doing. So thank you so kindly. All right, folks. Let's see what else I have in the scroll before. I think I'm going to shut down a bit early. I I really look. We life goes on and we have to keep this stuff up. But just today, there's just this stuff that has come over me. We're just finding out about my friend's death today. Another activist that's really doing the work. So I think uh, uh, as I don't. Oh no 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 no. Look, Michael. Please don't ever say that. Everything is in the positive direction, sir. Thank you. All right. Let's see here. Sharkula hairstylist said, I'm late. Well, Sharkula, you're here, beautiful. Let me go ahead and read our stuff from E2247. These are Gaza only stats and do not include I imagine the West Bank, etc. So we have day 350 of the war, 41,272 Gazans killed, 252 people more than on day 340, and at least 95,551 wounded, 626 persons more than day 340. 136,823 casualties. Uh, it's sad. It's sad. A message from Michael Rudden says, Eric doing the usual accusation in the mirror. MAGA justification of violence is disgusting. It's former Trump supporters who are trying to shoot him. Trump deserves a prison sentence, not a bullet. He's got 34 convictions and counting, with three more major trials to come. Donald Trump is going to lose this election, and Donald Trump is going to jail. That is where we're at right now, folks. No, no worries. Donald Trump will finally meet the bars. All right. Let's see what else we got here. Greg Palace, thank you for pointing that out. E2247. Thank you for pointing that out. Michael Ruddin says, early end, all right. I'm going to be away next Monday and Tuesday. Catch you in the middle of the week. You will be missed for sure, Michael Ruddin. Thank you for being here while you are here. Greg Palace run is a minute. I mean, an hour and 16 minutes. Okay, I think I better. I'm going to contact Greg and see if I can get an interview with him over the weekend so I can bring it to you on Monday. We'll see what happens. As soon as I get off of this show, I'm going to go give him a call. And that is all from because Bridge says, Egberto, we need to start doing more of that to let people know exactly what's going on. As you can see, you guys have influence on this program. Okay, guys, I don't have any more videos. I don't have any more to show today. But I want to one more time let close the show out with my friend and the last interview he did with our Occupy movement several 10 years ago, actually, a little bit more than 10 years ago. Check it out. Oh, oh, wait, what's going on? Well, folks, for some reason, I, I don't, for some reason, I lost the sound. So let me go ahead and cue that back up, and I think we should be okay. Let's see if I, oh, what did I do? What did I change? Oh, I know what I changed. I have to put it, I think I got to put it back here and then it'll probably work. For some reason, I got to figure out why. Yeah, we saw this, but I want to play it to end the show. That's my friend. And then this is our last Occupy 52 consecutive weeks.
That's it.
Now tell me, what are we doing going forward?
Well, it's time to switch our strategy. I think get a little more hands-on and get involved with the Move to Amend movement, and that's all about essentially getting money out of politics and declaring that corporations are not people.
No, are you going to be an integral part of that movement
Oh
going
yeah,
forward?
definitely. I'm hoping we can pressure lawmakers, maybe even do some door-to-door stuff. I don't know. I mean, it's going to be a learning experience.
Now, let me tell you, Brandon, from someone who served the country, there is no better person to move that message forward. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks.
All right, folks. That was the last interview we did with the Occupy movement with Brandon. Anyway, folks, I want to ask you so kindly to please support our program. There are many ways to support the program, but what I'm asking those of you who have the wherewithal to do so, to please support the program by becoming subscribers of the Egberto Off the Record newsletter. Become a paid subscriber if you have the wherewithal to do so. It's equivalent to giving us a coffee. So please go ahead and consider becoming a subscriber. Go to politicsandright.com/newsletter, politicsandright.com/newsletter. If you want to support us in a manner different than being a subscribing to our newsletter, a paid subscription to our newsletter, just visit let's say politicsdoneright.com/newsletter, politicsdoneright.com/newsletter. Sandy, yep, he will be missed. I haven't gotten a chance to reach his wife yet and talk. I mean, I know she's probably completely taken out with what's going on here. But I always, the last time I saw Brandon about 3, 4, probably it was probably last year I saw him. I think it was, but man, it hurts. Um, Anyway, folks, please support the show however you can. You can go become a paid subscriber of our newsletter. That really helps us. That's at politicsdoneright.com/newsletter. It's like giving us a coffee, and that really keeps us doing what we do. Likewise, you can go ahead and if you prefer to support us in some other way, politicsdoneright.com/support. It presents you with all the different options to support us. But again, we'd love your subscription, your paid subscription to our newsletter. I got to get out of here, guys. I really have to get out of here. My name is Egberto Willies. This is Politics Done Right. You guys know how I end this baby. I am what? Out. Welcome to Politics Done Right. I am your host, Egberto Willies. This is a progressive program that will take the mystery out of politics. This is the program that will encourage you to make sure government becomes we the people. Whether you are liberal, progressive, conservative, or otherwise, you get to air your point of view. We are an independent media outlet that, unlike mainstream media beholden to corporations, we only owe allegiance to you. Remember, you can also send me a tweet at EGBERTOWILLIES. That is at Egberto Willies. Let us engage. It is Politics Done Right.